Good afternoon. Welcome to All About Animals. I'm Sherry Graditor, and I am at HARPS, which is Hooved Animal Rescue and Protection, with Donna Ewing and Rhonda Griffin, mother and daughter, who are running this operation in a new location. And we decided to do an adoption show today. We're going to show you some of the horses that are here that are available for adoption. Okay, this is the first of the horses that are here at HARPS waiting for adoption. And I guess Rhonda is going to tell us about her.
Yes, Sherry, this is Jasmine. She is 7 years old. She's a little bit dirty. She's a little more white normally. She is a American white horse crossed with a quarter horse, a chestnut quarter horse. She's about 14.3 hands, and she is broke to ride. She does a little jumping. She does trail rides. She's even gone on a fox hunt before.
Oh my goodness.
So she's got some experience, and she's looking for somebody to love her.
And what kind of a home? Anything special that she needs?
She has no real special needs. She needs someone to love her. That's it.
And
So
she's very healthy and very sound.
And probably put a lot of miles, and she needs work. She's got a lot of energy, but she's very loving. And Rhonda's
She's a sweetheart.
10-year-old stepdaughter rode her, and she fell off, and the horse stopped and looked at her and said, "Are you okay?" She's really a wonderful animal.
How sweet.
Very sweet
So
little
here's
horse.
number one that we're going to show you. And I mean, I've seen this one since she was a baby and loved her since then.
Yeah.
And she's grown into a beautiful, beautiful girl. Okay, and this is Hallie, and she's your special needs because?
Hallie is blind in one eye, we believe from birth, and she is just almost 4 years of age, so she's just ready for training now, and we kind of let her grow up and grow a little bit. Before we started working with her, she came to us as a rescue, a starvation case on her mother's side, and she is now ready and willing and very sweet. She's a quarter horse. She's very flashy with 4 white socks.
She's absolutely gorgeous.
Yep, and she doesn't like the flies today.
Well, Rhonda, this horse has the movements of a dressage horse, and this would be someplace if someone wants a beautiful dressage horse. She has gorgeous movement, and she would be very fine in a ring because the one eye doesn't bother her at all because she's had it since shortly after she was born. Her mother, she was kicked in the eye by another horse.
Wow.
And
But she's breathtaking. She really is beautiful.
yeah, she is, and the eye doesn't seem to bother her at all. But we'd like to have her where she could probably have her own place, because if another horse bites her and she's on the left side, which happened to her once here.
Back up.
She can't
She
see
got a
it
little
coming.
bump over that
Yeah.
eye.
Back up.
She can't see it coming. So
Right.
she needs, do you want her to be alone, or do you want her to be with a stablemate?
Oh, she
or?
can be with
can
a
be-
stablemate or with a gentle horse, right, Rhonda?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's fine. She just has this limitation on her left eye, but with good training, she'll be just as sound as any other horse, just as good to ride as any other horse.
And she's a love. So
And she's a love.
Our special needs horse, and only 4. And she's had no training at all at this point, correct?
No training.
Okay.
Yep, she's ready to
Because
go.
she's ready to start.
Yes.
So this is a horse that if you want to bring in and you want to start working with, you've literally got a blank slate
Got
to
a
work with.
blank slate, Sherry.
Except
exactly.
she's sweet.
Yes.
And that you know up front.
Very sweet and very smart, very willing. Yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
So this is our Halle Berry.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Come on, sweetie. Come.
Okay, now this is Rita.
This is Rita.
What's her story?
Oh, well, she has an interesting story. Rita came from down in Dixon, Illinois, where she was, we believe she was a brood mare or a host mare for in vitro fertilization from a quarter horse breeder down there. And anyway, she is special needs. She's mildly foundered in the front, so she'll need some
Do you want
special.
to explain that?
Just, she has some swelling of the lamina, Sherry, without getting too complicated anyway, and a little bit of little soreness. The coffin bone can slowly start to shift when you
Right.
have some inflammation. She does not have bad rotation. She's just mildly sore on like hard frozen ground. Otherwise, in the summer, she does fine.
She's come a long way already, we might say. She was severely foundered when we first got her, but we caught it in time, and the shoers have been able to, and the x-rays show that with proper trimming, she should be fine for just light pleasure riding, but not for any real heavy
So this
duty.
is a light pleasure horse, and this is a horse who's going to need some care taken of her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Outside of that, she is breathtakingly beautiful.
Super sweet.
She has a terrific blue eye.
Mm-hmm.
The bluest of blue, if you can see that. Let's see if we can get her over just a little bit so that we can see that one eye, because it's almost shocking in the black face.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sweet.
She's
Very sweet, very
She
loving.
was very timid when she came here because she probably had to go through a lot of shots in order to carry the babies. And every time you'd come near her, she thought she was going to get a needle. But now she lets us touch her head, and she lets us brush her. She just needs some people to give her a little one-on-one care, and she's a lovely horse.
And
you
as
can
I
see
say,
how nice her feet
yeah.
look. And,
As I say about the dogs that I show people, some of the animals are less than perfect. We are all less than
Less than
perfect.
perfect.
we look for
and
a perfect
we-
person, but we can't find one.
You can't find a perfect person, and you won't find a perfect animal. But that doesn't mean that they are not perfectly ready to love.
Leo is a registered paint horse. His registered name is Ima Vision of Leo, IMA. And until he came to us as a rescue, he was used as a stallion. He is now a gelding. He is wonderful. He is kind of low man on the totem pole here. He gets pushed around a bit because his lovely, gentle disposition, his nature, with all the other horses. So he is not broke to ride, but we have actually sat on him bareback and had somebody lead us around. And so he tolerates most anything, but he's 17 years old. He would be a great companion horse and a great addition to any family.
Sure, but because he is as gentle as he is, you could bring him in with almost any horse,
Any horse.
and he would defer, and by deferring,
Absolutely.
the other horse would be happy to have a companion that didn't compete.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. Even our ponies chase him off. So a little miniature horse and our Shetland ponies will move him off. He's that sweet and that gentle natured.
And he's up for adoption, but everybody here tells me very quietly when nobody else is listening, but I've heard it more than once, we love him, we don't want him to go. But yes, they would love to have you find a home.
We'd love to have him have a wonderful forever home.
Even though they don't want him to go, you know what? The hard thing about being involved in humane is that you love them and then they leave you.
And, you know, he's a piece of living art, isn't he? The most
He
gorgeous?
is,
Look at that face.
and look at the cuddle.
Yeah, he loves people. He's very special, and you better be very special to get him.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay, you want to take him down?
Yeah.
Can you
Okay.
get him from the side as he goes in? Because he's so beautiful.
So this is Chester.
He's a big boy.
He is a big boy, and
High up there.
he's let's see.
I got him.
Gosh, what is he? About 8 years old
Well,
now.
so he's a young guy.
Yeah, he's young, and he is what we think maybe he's a gelding. He is possibly Arabian thoroughbred, is a guess, and he is another handsome horse that we have
He's
here.
beautiful.
And ready for the right person to adopt him.
Now, has he had any training at all?
He has had very little training. He is not broke to ride, Sherry. We have started him under saddle, and but he would need to be finished, and there's going to be a lot of hours that we're going to need to put into Chester to train him because he is older at 9. Or he could be a wonderful companion. He also is very friendly. He's not a mean, aggressive horse. He loves other horses, and
And your guys are softer
And he
tempered
likes-
than your mirrors, aren't they?
yes, right. And he likes dogs even. He just
I can tell.
gave my
Hello.
puppy dog a.
Look at
Hello.
show-offs or what? Look at
Hello,
the
sweet
heads
boy.
of
Look
the-
at that beautiful face, guys.
That's why they were
Why,
kept.
thank you.
That's why.
And
they
I'm
were-
getting kisses too, but you can't eat the hair.
Oh.
The hair is not edible.
No, don't be
No, no.
sassy.
No.
He has a little element of. He's got a little spunk to him.
He's
and
beautiful and he's wonderful. And you know what? We respect him.
usually we try to match the person, obviously the personality with the horse. And we'd like you to have your own place if you could, and your own horses, so that we can see how you care for them. But aside from that, we kind of, there's an interview process, and we just make sure that we're matching, you know, the animal up with the personality type of the person. And so we're pretty good at knowing what horses need what and how many years to match that with experience. And
there's an adoption fee.
And there's an adoption
And we're not
fee.
going to go into that because I'm sure that that has to do with a lot of things.
It varies, but it's as minimal as you could imagine. So we really, first and foremost, like these horses to have the perfect home and a really good home, and it's not about the money.
And then permit me to add my own rant to this, which is if you take a horse, please be sure that you can afford to keep the horse. Because people get horses for their teenage children, and the kids go off to college, and the cost of maintaining the horse goes up, and hay is expensive, and vet bills are expensive, and then that horse is out with someone saying, please, can you take this horse? My daughter's going to be gone for 4 or 6 years, and nobody's riding the horse. Or you get the people who get a horse because they think it's just dandy to have a horse, and then after a brief period, they decide, gee, this was a mistake. They are living, breathing, loving animals. They have souls.
That's right.
And you can't, it's the same thing, guys, as adopting a dog or a cat or a ferret or a gerbil or a hamster, except bigger and more expensive to take care of.
That's right.
And what a humane organization that deals with hoofed animals comes into, and I'm sure, Donna, you're standing next to me, how many calls do you get a week from people who say, can you take my horse, I can't keep it anymore?
Unfortunately, we're getting calls at least 2 to 3 a week, not saying can you take my horse, but can you take the whole herd. There are herds of horses that are being abandoned, and these 2 beautiful stallions you just saw that were stallions were part of that deal. They had way more horses than they could keep or afford, and there were many that were dead. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But we were able to rescue these, and we hope that the rest of their life will make up for the bad time they had.
And they are up for adoption. But please, if you want to adopt a horse, if you want to go out and buy a horse, though I don't know why you would with this kind of stock available that wants you to love it. But if you're going to get a horse, make a commitment for the life of that horse. It can be 30 years. You have a commitment. Hello, sweetheart. Yes, you're a darling, and I love you too.
It's harpsonline.org,
And
www.harpsonline.org, and there are many other horses on there which we call direct adoptions, where we just don't have the room to take them all, but we try to put their pictures on and their story, and they can have them. But they can call our office, which is 847-382-0503, and they can also fill out the form online, and we do want to know the name of their shoer, their veterinarian, and when they do adopt a horse, if it doesn't work out, they have to bring them back. Not allowed to sell them or
Absolutely.
anything else.
Absolutely.
Wish list.
Fast.
Homes for all these beautiful horses. And donations to help us feed and care for them. They come to us in hideous condition, and it costs us a lot of money, but that, as we said, money is not the problem, or it's not the criteria, it's the home that we're interested in. So we always lose tons of money on every horse.
Years ago, a very wise woman named Donna said to me, we have the fortune, we are lucky that we doing this kind of work go from death to life, excuse me. Donna, Rhonda, thank you. We will now go to Save a Pet and see some of the dogs and cats available there for adoption.